I'm Lachlan and I'm an actor here at TheatreINQ. I was in high school, Pimlico, and I had a cousin, Jonathan Brown, who was working at La Luna Youth Arts, which is unfortunately now, I don't think, any longer a thing. But he was running a class, and I'm pretty certain that my parents had spoken to him and was like, get this guy out of my house, like get this kid out of my house and get him to do something. I don't know, but he gave me a call and said, do you want to come to this class? And then, which I did, and like most sort of people I think who start, it starts out as something that's just social. You know, you just go there and you learn some lines, don't really have any effect on anything, you just meet people and do the stuff. Then that's how I met Arminelle Fleming, who works here at TheatreINQ as well. And she had then sort of asked me to move into her class. You know, I had a good time there. And then from that point, she mentioned to me one day, I was about 14, I think, about the Bridge project, which had just then started in 2012. And she was sort of saying, you should audition for it. You're way too young, but you should audition, which I did. And the Bridge project audition, if I remember correctly, the Bridge project audition at that time also doubled as an audition for the Shakespeare in the Park that year, which was King Lear, with John Defoe as King Lear and Brendan and Terri, and obviously I had no clue the caliber of, you know, actors and the production that it was. So I auditioned and I didn't get a role, but Terri offered me to come and do a company masterclass, company workshop with the rest of the company, which I did. And I don't remember any of this. You know, some people hang jokes on me about it, but apparently I was a complete shit in this workshop. Like, I was so young and so full of energy and quite annoying, some might say. And Terri gave me this email saying, sorry, we can't let you come back. You're just, not yet, you're too immature. And I still have that email, and I remember it completely shattered me, because up at that point, I'd not failed in it at all. Like, youth arts, you get it. It's, you know, you get a medal for participating, pretty much. And that was my first sort of, you know, person who sort of said no, you know, absolutely not. So I remember that sort of shattered me, and then I got. Arminelle was starting an after-school workshop, an after-school class through TheatreINQ called The Beginner's Call, and she obviously offered me a spot there, and I just completely like went at that like something else. Like, I was just there every day. I was so sort of like, it's funny, that thing it does to you when you get, you know, when you get turned down or you get refused or you sort of fail. You know, that was my first experience of like really going for something. And then I just spent the year, and then by the end of that year, I was really lucky to get offered a role in the Shakespeare of that year, which was Macbeth. And obviously through that, I hit first year, and then really it's just been a series of opportunities and training that I've gotten from Terri and Brendan that has led me to go to drama school, get out, get an agent, do all that. So yeah, like, that's a really long answer, but the short answer is just that I, by the grace of God, somehow found my way into the training of Terri, Brabon and Brendan O'Connor, and here I am. Sometimes people from South or stuff, they start out by saying, oh, it's that company. After about the fourth or fifth person that they saw in an audition and saw came from the same spot, I think they started to take it, they're taking it quite seriously, that this sort of format, this sort of training, this ethos that Terri and Brendan foster is something that produces, you know, truly great actors. Not in the sense that that they'll win an Oscar with, you know, 2 breaths, but that they have ethic, they have heart and soul, that they have, you know, strength. They actually have strengths. And finished WAAPA in 2019, and since then I moved to Sydney. WAAPA's really great. You know, they do a lot of work to get you an agent, sort of secure you representation in the industry. So obviously with an agent that comes with, you know, a lot of screen testing, a lot of auditions, which is really great. The first year I was out, I did a couple of different sort of things, an education show with the Australian Shakespeare Company going into schools. I did a play with an independent theatre company called the New Theatre, called Animal Farm by George Orwell. And yeah, I mean, probably the highlight of 2020 was that during lockdown, again, we were, I think Brittany might have spoke about before, but we were doing sessions that were sort of handled by Terri and sort of over Zoom. You know, and me and JT were living together, and so Terri was like, I don't know why you guys aren't doing a show. And so in classic form, JT and I were like, yeah, we'll do a show then, we'll do a show. So we ended up doing a play in our living room to crowds of 7 a night, and it was the best thing that I reckon we did that year. You know, we just sort of spent the time in our house rehearsing and, you know, mucking around and sort of doing what we could with what we had, and it was really fun. Yeah, people can really underestimate just how potent and how powerful it is to have someone who trains you, who is a mentor to you. It's really important and really underestimated how powerful it can be for those people to actually say that I believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. I'm very lucky that I get the opportunity to take this show that we're doing, Orphans, down to Sydney and put it on for an audience down there.